Hello world, Frida Reba Darcy here, and Patricia O'Connor. It is a cool fall day. It is winding up our first little wave of holidays. It's really crisp and cool out today, a little overcast. We're about an hour or so before our lights go down. So this is kind of where we are at our best. This is our fall colors. I've started defoliating the bald cypress trees a little bit. Everything seems to be kind of just rolling to the end of a nice relaxing holiday weekend. Worked a shorter schedule on Friday, Black Friday, which is becoming more of a holiday, I think, every year. It's a shopping holiday, and here I am in retail, which means it's not much of a holiday for me. I get to go in early. Yay. But this is a nice opportunity to come in when we are under lights and the lights are brighter than the sky. We can actually see the good job that our overhead lights do on our trees, the color they add to them, and the color of light. You know, I'm pretty fortunate in that for grow lights, these guys actually put out what I consider to be a pretty flattering spectrum. A lot of grow lights are purple or something. You know, these are more, these are full spectrum. That's, I guess, what that means. This is just a little bit of catch up. We've had a few issues that were bandwidth related, so it's kind of slowed my shooting down some. I think I'm probably shooting. My shooting needs are demanding more and more bandwidth because of the information that I'm transferring by shooting higher definition videos. And two, we have been having a lot of storms, which has traditionally, the last couple of years, I've noticed, especially certain times of year, that whenever we start getting like winter weather or something, a little rainy weather, that seems to interfere with our internet connections, which really slows down my uploading by a lot. And also sometimes it will shut my camera off in just mid-shoot. So not so much that's something that I notice when I'm walking around with camera, but when we set up and we're doing our indoor stuff, some of my 2 and 3 parters have been just for that reason. I look up and the camera's off. I also am coming to know that during holidays, I think the amount of internet traffic goes up. And when that happens, also our bandwidth goes down. You know, I'm lucky in that my schedule has me home during a few weekdays, and being home during a few weekdays, it might be that the volume of traffic here at the apartment for the internet and stuff is not as much, and it might, you know, that I'm just grasping for straws here since I've been trying to figure it out. What I finally decided was not to sweat it, that it was the holidays, and if everybody else wanted to use the internet, that maybe I could just take some holidays and take it easy for a few days and not worry about anything. So this is as much a little catch up, a little wrap up of what's been going on with us during the holidays, and a test to see how long this will take to upload. The Cork Bark Oak that we did a prune back on a week ago now is already started vibrating out, and those little shoots are already beginning to elongate out. When it comes to our big ponderosa, it's enjoying its last 2 weeks with us before it makes a road trip and goes to Northern California to spend the winter. We will swing back by and pick it up come February or something. Trident maple still hanging out, waiting for cooler weather. When it drops the rest of its leaves, I will do a prune back, but I'm not going to get too astronomical over that. I don't want it to bleed out a whole lot of sap. Here's the work we did on our Dawn Redwood. It is budding out a whole lot since we did that work. It was already starting to bud out some while we were doing that. It's like it lost a lot of foliage, just like the bald cypress did. And then when the weather warmed back up, it flushed back out with buds. A lot of years, some years we see a second flush, and some years those die back. I would expect for that to be some of both, but I still think that what we've done here to the Dawn Redwood has got this guy on a path that we can deal with. Little cobwebs there. If that's leaf hoppers, that's fine. So that's how that's looking. A little quick look at Simply P. Simply P is doing pretty good. This is a little look at the shari work I did. Those are 2 wire scars that kind of made a spiral on that part of the trunk, and you can actually see a little glittery look at the end of the trunk there where the wire is embedded. So I decided to carve that out in the shape of that little funnel shape or that little triangle shape. And what I want to do is I probably need to go deeper in here and deeper in there, so that when the sap will roll out a little bit and we can see a little rollover, which will better accentuate that. And in the meanwhile, I would like to see this go bleached white. That's kind of my idea there. A lot of our pines are looking really good. They're starting to get their color back to them because I've had a few days to stay on top of them, and I haven't. When nature does our watering, it can kind of throw me a curve a little bit, or if I'm anticipating some watering that may or may not come, I may hold off on my own watering. So right now, it's been up to me to do it, and I've got everybody is starting to green up pretty well. I was concerned about, let me see if I can get that in better. I was concerned about this guy. Its color is on the mend. It's still slow to uptake water, so I'm going to slow down on its water more. This guy is starting to green up better. The rest of them have started to go back into the substrate trays because their color is already recovered enough that I want to put them in places where they will get optimum light. As we get farther into the winter and everybody slows down their uptake of water and their metabolism slows down, I'll probably move a lot of these drip trays with substrate in them, because at some point they'll all just be sitting in little vats of rocky water, and that kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah, our little literati Japanese pine is looking fine. Just pan right on up like it's a giraffe and show off what's going on there. Everybody is doing pretty well. This is one of our little guys that we repotted not too long ago. It looks like it is doing very well. I'm pretty happy with that. This is a little quick look at our $50 challenge tree. This was started by Bonsai out of San Francisco. I bought it as a seedling in a cup, and I bought the pot from them too. And then as a part of my $50 challenge, I put this little tree together. It's been together now for just a little over a year. I will always have a sentimental attachment to this because, well, one, y'all, this was my acceptance of the $50 challenge that the other bonsai creators was doing, and two, I ordered all of this through the mail because I was stuck at home recovering from a surgery that I had been looking forward to / dreading for some years, and that reflects that little victory and that little. This is one that we did just recently, and all of these guys in these pots are Elizabeth Crutenton's pots, and I just love these pots. I just think her work is so good. And I'm just kind of going back over and giving you a second look at some of the stuff we've been doing. I had tried to show you some of these videos earlier, but I wasn't happy with the quality of some of the stuff I've made a whole lot of improvements in some ways, but sometimes when you make a whole lot of jumps at once, if something doesn't go as expected, you're not sure why, because you've made like 5 changes. That's to oversimplify. But some of the things that I've wanted to follow up on have kind of fallen between the cracks for that reason, but we'll catch up. This is the Ponderosa we did the other week before last. Really like the way that all is coming out with the exposed roots and everything. I'm going to try to change my hold on this tree and show you the other side now. Boom. I think this is a really cool addition to our collection, and I look forward to all of those roots getting thicker and more exposed and getting their own little sharies and stuff on them and starting to look woody like. This is going to be a really nice. I think this is going to be a really nice tree, and I'm really looking forward to watching it develop. Marisol at Frostbite Bonsai pointed out that I sounded excited. I am. I'm genuinely that. This is kind of the reason why I thought that getting ponderosas would be a good idea. Ponderosas would be what you would see in real life, hanging out of a canyon, doing that. And that's a Japanese black pine. But if you actually see a pine hanging out of some canyon doing that, it's probably more likely to be a ponderosa than it would be what we have going here. But I love what we have going here. All of our little trees are greening up very, very nicely. This is our other ponderosa. This one is called Babe, and it is pushing out a whole lot of growth that A tells us that it's happy, and B tells us that it has a whole lot of energy. It has more energy on tap than it can store in its roots and in its needles. So rather than continue to let that excess energy run through its vascular system unchecked, it will produce more needles just to hiding money in your sock drawer or something. It's just kind of a thing tree. And it may keep those needles, it may not. If it were cooler and in dormancy, it would not be doing that. So that's another way. That's another way to look at that. This guy and some of these other pondos will be getting a cooler treatment. More on that as we get rolling with it. We'll see how that gets going. That is a little quick rundown. I'm still tapping my foot, waiting for my opportunity to do some branch selection on these bald cypresses, which will set us up for next year. And when I'm done from that, I've still got a little bit of carving to do on these guys, which will set us up from now on. I don't think I'm going to have to do that a lot, but I want to make sure that as all of our wedge cuts roll over and heal over, that they do so in a way that doesn't show that they were ever there 10 years from now. I got to make sure that I've now's the time to go through. Last call for that, and that's what we'll be doing as soon as we get rid of the last little bit of our green foliage. So yeah, that's our little 15-minute run, and thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you guys have not already. We may repot a ponderosa tonight. I've got a hankering to repot one of our little smaller ponderosa seedlings. And other than that, Frida and I are just gonna lap up what's left of the holidays. Round one of the holidays is over, and we survived it without gaining too much weight. We did knock out a pumpkin pie and a couple of quarts of ice cream, though. They just laid that stuff to waste. I appreciate you, and Frida appreciates you. And thank you so much for watching.